Hello everyone, this is my first time making a different type of YouTube video that is more scripted and not just a compilation of me playing games with some friends and making a silly thing out of it. So, first time, something new, we'll see how it goes. So recently Come Deliverance 2, the trailer for it came out, and I've been anticipating this game for a very long time, as has everybody else who knows anything about the first game. I've also been digging silently in the background over the years to try and find information about the new game. Without much success. I think Sexy Biscuit got a lot more information about the game than I did. But during it, whilst I was watching the trailer, there were some interesting things that I saw that I didn't see other people point out yet. And I thought it might be interesting to go over some of them. So there's one part in the trailer where Henry gets taken out of jail, and people see Hans Capon, and Hans Capon is the Lord, of course, and they think Hans is getting Henry out of jail. But I feel like the entire dynamic of the scene is more set up in a way that Hans Capon is also in jail, because it doesn't seem to have much sway over the guard. He doesn't act like it. He's very deep inside of the cell as well. Whereas I feel like some lord getting Henry out of jail would be standing more at the door instead of getting inside of the filthy jail. He also takes a step towards the guard and Henry at the end of the scene. And I feel like Henry's a little bit dismissive of Hans during the scene. So I think Hans Capon is also in jail, which is, to me, kind of a little bit confirmed. Of course, we don't know a lot about the game yet, but it's kind of confirmed in the during some of the parts of the video that were taken in the church, because in the church, I actually think this is Hans Capon in the pillory. And why I think that is because this top part looks like wood. The bottom part, there's a bit of a curvature here, like there's a hole for a neck to go through, which I've kind of outlined here crudely with some drawing. And the way his angle, the angle of his head is, plus wood at the top and the bottom of it, it just feels like Hans is actually in the pillory here. Which to me makes this scene seem more like they're both in jail and Henry just gets taken out for questioning, torture, execution, you name it. In this part of the video, where you see this knight take out his sword and flip down his helmet, we can actually see two interesting things here. The armor here has a lot of rust, and the helmet itself also has some rust, and his other gauntlet has rust. The overall state of the armor is a little bit in disarray, and I think that might indicate a new system of maintaining the armor, because armor did rust back in the day, and there were things that they could do about that, like waxing it or bluing, or having different types of layers applied to the armor. I'm not too well versed on that, but I do know that they had some things they could do about it. But this also might show a new system for you have to maintain your armor properly, or it might give you an incentive to actually wear different clothing than just wearing your plate armor all the time in every single scenario. And because, like, if you wear your plate armor all the time, it might start rusting, it might start degrading faster, and you have to keep it up all the time, and that might get too expensive to do. So you're incentivized to wear more noble clothing, or your prettier clothing, or more civilian-like clothing, even though civilian is probably a very modern term for it. We just wear different types of clothing for different types of scenarios. We also see a new type of gauntlet here. I think this is called the demi-gauntlet. It at least is missing the articulated finger part. We see it here again. We can see some rust on the front of his helmet. and a little bit of an edge of rust here, and we see the demi type of gauntlet coming back again. So I think those two things are confirmed. There is rust, because it's also different types of rust. Like, this is very rusted. This is a little bit rusted, and here's just a smidge of rust. Whereas on the helmet here, a little bit later, you can see here some serious brown. There's more rust than on this guy. But at least we have the gauntlet definitely confirmed. This is a very different type of gauntlet, and it's cool to see. Next up, I think we're also getting a new pickpocketing system. I think that because I've seen pouches, different types of pouches worn differently by different types of people in the game. This spot is shown during, whilst the developers are explaining the new crime system that they're implementing into the game. And you can see Henry walking behind this woman, and in KCD1, that's kind of the stuff that you did when you were going to pickpocket someone. But now you actually see different types of pouches on people, and if you look up really early footage from the Kickstarter, actually, I'll be playing the little snippet of the video now. You can see that the developers originally had intended for you to like slice off the pouch from the person you were pickpocketing from and take their stuff and go away. Furthermore, you have this more different types of pouches, like on the dead guy on the floor has this leather pouch, which is different, that we haven't seen on anyone yet. And this, I presume, is a money pouch worn on the front side of the person, which is obviously, I think, the more safer place to wear your money. So there might be difficulties to this. Here's another different type of pouch, a money pouch here. And here you see another very different type of pouch. Although similar maybe to the dead guy on the floor, it's a similar type of pouch. It is a different looking pouch, and here you see money worn on the front again. Now regarding the rest of this image, I think this kind of looks like an arena, and in the arena you now have banners of the people you're fighting. This is the Hungarian flag, which might be associated with him. My reason for thinking that is that these guys with the headband and the type of helmet have been generally associated to be from Prague, which is this banner over here. But it shows that at least, you know, you have the banner from the city of Prague, and then you have the guy from Prague. And this guy might be from Hungary, I think. So the arena system might not show the allegiance of the guy you're fighting. And in KCD, you also had different people from different allegiances. They also wore different colors of armor, but now you can see the banner, which is, I think, a nice new little touch. One more thing I found interesting was here we can see Henry slaying a guy with a, I think, German insignia shield. And in the next picture, or in the trailer, you can see Henry here fighting alongside a guy with a German insignia on his shield, which might just go show how complicated all the allegiances were during this turbulent time, and how quickly allegiances can shift during these times. And of course, last but not least, the food pot got a different texture. It now more looks like a soup instead of a bean stew. I think a stew in everybody's house during the medieval times was very rich because beans are good for protein, and I think it's a bit weird that everybody during the time had access to it. So I think more of a soup type of texture is an interesting difference. And yeah, now these are all the all the things I noticed about the trailer that other people hadn't already pointed out, like the guns, the crossbow. These are some smaller details, I think, that were easy to miss. I mean, it took me definitely these maybe 10 times before I noticed the rust on the armor, and before I noticed the different types of pouches people were wearing. So I'm excited about the game. I look forward to what they're going to tell us about it in the future. And yeah, see you guys later.